Hello and welcome to Hedgewitch Hearthcraft. I am Caitlin Rhiannon. Thank you so much for joining me for this look at the week ahead. I'm going to be using tarot cards and oracle cards to get an idea of the energy for the week of November 22nd to 28th, 2020, and how we can best navigate throughout or within those energies. So I'm going to be pulling 2 cards for every sign of the Western Zodiac. The first card will be from the Tarot Familiars deck, and that'll give us an idea of what we're going to be dealing with over this next week. And the second card will be from the Black Moon Astrology cards, and this will give us some advice on how to deal with or navigate throughout the energy of the week. At the very end, I will also be pulling a Universal Manifestation card for everyone. So if you jump to the cards that are pulled for your sign specifically, make sure you also skip to the very end so that you can get a little bit of that extra goodness in your life for this week. So since it is Sagittarius season, let's go ahead and get started with our Sagittarians. Sagittarius, your tarot card for the week of November 22nd to 28th, 2020, is the 3 of Swords. So over this next week, there is some heightened stressful feelings, especially mentally. There's a sense of just not being able to make sense. Things aren't clicking into place. Things aren't easy. Nothing is working out in the way that you want it to over this next week, Sagittarius, and that brings a lot of stress, a lot of frustration. Especially when it comes to communication and the people in your life, there is a feeling of disconnection, of potentially feeling like people don't appreciate you or respect you the way you need right now. At worst, there is a little risk of being mistreated or being caused some emotional pain by the people that you're leaning on, that you're relying on. So it may not be the best week to be hoping for other people to be there for you. The oracle card that comes along with this is Saturn. So the advice that comes with this is to deal with it as best as you can, to face the facts, face the truth, face the reality of things. Not everything is going to be glorious and gold and shiny and perfect. Some things are going to be difficult, and this is just one of those weeks. There's a lot of learning opportunities with this frustration, with this risk of sorrow or misery or unhappiness, just not getting what you want right now. You're able to identify what those wants are by not having them. So try to use this to learn rather than just wallowing in what isn't working. Capricorn, your tarot card for the week of November 22nd to 28th, 2020, is the 7 of Pentacles. So there is a lot of growth over this week for you, especially on a financial or material level. There's a sense of starting to see the development, seeing the results of all of the work that you have been putting in. Not necessarily being able to collect it. Bits and pieces, yes, you're starting to feel the trickle of incoming abundance. But for the most part, this just brings the awareness and appreciation of what you have already done and seeing the manifestation that this is leading to. You've done the work, you have planted the seeds, and you have tended the garden, and now you might not be able to cut the flowers to put them in your vase, but you're able to see the way that they are starting to grow, and it's beautiful. There's real appreciation, not only of what is growing and what is coming to you, but of yourself and how you managed to make this happen. Now, the oracle card that comes along with this is the Grand Trine. So Capricorn, you're being really asked right now to pay attention to the blessings. Look at all of these good things that are coming into your life. You might not automatically be able to put your arms out and sweep all of the winnings in at once. This isn't the kind of abundance that's coming. It's a steady flow. And this is a steady flow of blessings. So even when things aren't necessarily working in the way that you want them to, especially this week in particular, there is the sense that they are working in the way that they need to for your own greatest abundance. So if it feels like you're trickling forward, but you're not, the dam hasn't broken yet, just be patient because that's probably coming. Aquarius, your tarot card for the week of November 22nd to 28th, 2020, is the Six of Cups. So there's a lot of potential for positivity here, but there is a risk of pouring out more than you have to share. This is the nostalgia card. This is going back into your emotional self and reconnecting to what has made you feel good historically. This can be connecting to your inner child, or connecting to something that made you happy 3 months ago, or something that made you happy in your teen years. But there's a sense of, it's not emotional fulfillment, not like real deep, permanent, fulfilling emotional fulfillment. It's like a Band-Aid. It's a feel good in the moment by looking back on what has made you feel good. So especially if you are doing things this week that have made you feel good in the past, but not now, that's where the risk of pouring out more than you have comes in, because you're trying so hard to do what makes you feel good and what makes other people feel good in ways that you know maybe you need to be trying something new. Now, the oracle card that comes along is the 9th house. And with this, you're being asked to connect to your sense of faith, of trusting a higher power or divine force or manifestation, universe, helping spirit. Put your faith anywhere. Just have it. And recognize where your faith is right now and over this next week, as you are potentially living a little bit in your own past. That's okay, but it is important to make sure that you're staying connected to your present so that you can keep moving forward. And this connecting to a higher power or divine can help with that, because you're reminded that maybe not everything is always up to you, and you can rely on somebody else in exchange for you being there for everybody else right now. Pisces, your tarot card for the week of November 22nd to 28th, 2020, is the Hanged Man reversed. So over this next week, especially if you have been feeling like you've been stagnant or stuck over these last few weeks, few months, feeling like you've been spinning your wheels, or you've been suspended, or in some sort of seesaw, teeter-totter, moving up and down and back and forward, but never making any real progress, that's coming to an end this week. Yay! So there's real forward motion and a sense of disconnecting from what has been keeping you stuck where you are. You're free. There is a sense of liberation, of being unchained, untethered, and having so much potential to the direction that you can go, and that can be a little overwhelming. If you have, limitless options, it can be really hard to narrow down what you want to do. Now, the oracle card that comes along with this is Pluto, which kind of confirms this whole release and moving forward. You're being advised to allow yourself to evolve, to transform. You are not the same person that you were before, Pisces. You might not even be the same person today that you were yesterday. So allow yourself to grow, to change, to evolve, to transform, to be this new, bright and shiny version of yourself, the version of you that you want to be. Connect to this Plutonian transformational energy and release who you used to be, or your former ideals, what used to matter. If it doesn't matter anymore, you don't need it anymore. So let it go and make room for what does matter. Aries, your tarot card for the week of November 22nd to 28th, 2020, is the Knave of Pentacles reversed. So over this next week, you might not be totally sure about what to do with yourself, especially where work and money, school, the material world is concerned. Sitting at home might also feel just not right for you. Your energy is restless, and there is a sense of disconnecting from the material in favor of a more spiritual or emotional approach, trying to separate yourself from the financial side of things so that you can see things from another angle. There is a risk with this reversal. There is a risk of talking more than you should, being all talk and not being able to follow through. So do be careful about making any promises that you can't keep right now. The oracle card that comes along with this is the 10th house. So over this next week, as you are moving forward, and as you are having a little bit of a hard time balancing the material world, the real world that is in front of us all, that we can reach out and touch with, the inner spiritual, mystic world, the mysteries. As you're balancing all this, you're being asked to make sure that you are being mindful of everybody else and the environments around you, because whatever you do impacts them. Whatever you do creates a ripple effect, like throwing a stone into water and watching the ripples come out. Every action that you take, Aries, has an equal or opposite reaction. So you're being really asked to be mindful, not necessarily for the sake of what people think of you, but because of just be mindful of how whatever it is that you are doing will have an impact on the people around you, on your environment, on your work, and on your home. All of these areas will be affected by whatever choices you make and the steps that you take forward. Taurus, your tarot card for the week of November 22nd to 28th, 2020, is the Six of Pentacles reversed. So over this next week, as much as you want to be there for everybody else, you can't be there for everybody in every way. You simply do not have the resources. This card really wants to take care of people, wants to be there for people, but when it reverses, either someone is asking you to do something that you just can't afford to do right now, or you're trying too hard to give when you don't have enough for yourself. There's a risk that you just don't have the money, or you don't have the time, or you don't have the energy to share and share and share and give and give and give. You need your resources too. Just because somebody seems like they are in need does not mean that they need your energy or your time or your money more than you do. Be mindful about how much you have before you make any promises to anybody who is in need, even if you would consider their needs greater than your own. You cannot meet those needs if your own needs are not met. The oracle card that comes along with this is Scorpio. So you're being asked to go into yourself and pay attention to what matters to you. Scorpio, a lot of the time, is about hidden desires and deep, deep intuitive feelings. So go into yourself, Taurus. I know that you don't always want to. I know you don't always want to deal with your feelings, but pay attention to what really matters to you right now. You might want to be there for everybody else, but this week, that just isn't, it's not in the cards. So be kind to yourself. You're not being selfish by prioritizing yourself. Look into what you want, into what matters to you, and see what you can do to make it happen. Gemini, your tarot card for the week of November 22nd to 28th, 2020, is the Hermit. So there is some retreating being done over this next week, separating yourself from other people a little bit, clearing out your energy and pulling it away from other people so that you're not being so impacted by everybody else right now. There is a sense of isolation or solitude, taking a step back from situations that you just either don't need to be part of right now or cannot afford energetically to be part of right now. You are prioritizing your own energetic well-being this week, Gemini, by taking this step back. It might feel a little bit lonely. When you start to get too lonely, that is usually the sign that it's time to return to the world. So listen to that inner voice. But this is a chance for healing, for processing your feelings without being influenced by the feelings of everybody else around you. Now, the oracle card that comes along with this is the Taurus card. And so you are being asked to pay attention to your values. What matters to you? What do you have that makes you happy? And what are you holding on to, especially materially, like the things in your house? What are you holding on to that triggers negative emotions? Are you holding on to a book from an ex, or a set of pencil crayons from a parent or an aunt that is no longer actually part of your family? Are you holding on to, what do you need to let go of? What do you need to change? And what do you need to really pay attention to over this next week that makes you happy? Especially as you are separating your energy from the energies of other people and other situations, this gives you a really good opportunity to take inventory. What do you have that makes you smile? What do you need more of? And what do you need a little bit less of in your physical space? Cancer, your tarot card for the week of November 22nd to 28th, 2020, is the Nine of Pentacles. So over this next week, there is some appreciation of all that you have. Not necessarily what you are doing and the way that things are developing, but the way that they have developed so far. You're not so worried about the future growth right now, Cancer. Over this next week, there is more focus on what you have currently and appreciating what you have. This isn't overwhelming abundance, but it is comfort. It is contentedness. And there's a sense of being able to enjoy it yourself without needing to allocate it in any other direction right now. This is before figuring out what to do with everything. You're just appreciating what you have. You don't need to do anything with it. You just need to appreciate it. You just need to be happy and be content with what you have right now. And that's what this week is bringing, is this sense of comfort and contentedness and happiness at the simple things that you already have, appreciation of what you have already done, and knowing that what you are doing is working. You don't need to worry about the future because things are stable. You know that the future is going to be what it needs to be because the present is as it should be. Now, the oracle card that comes along with this is the Taurus card. And as you are paying attention to what you have and what matters to you, this card comes in to reinforce that energy. What do you value right now? What actually matters? You have your needs met, or you're having your needs met, your base needs. You're taking care of yourself. You're taking care of the people closest to you. You're not necessarily taking care of other people, and that's okay. You're rationing your energies for yourself. And you're appreciating. You have all of these things that you're so happy about. So this Taurus card comes in to remind you, yes, appreciate it, validate it, recognize it. What is working? What is making you happy? Bring more of that into your world right now. Leo, your tarot card for the week of November 22nd to 28th, 2020, is the Two of Swords. So there is stress over this next week, not seeing things clearly, not knowing what to do with your mental self, and there is a big risk right now over this mental energy, this inwards mental stress turning even more inwards and starting to attack yourself. So you run the risk of self-doubt and guilt and regrets and questioning whether you're on the right path or whether you've done the right things or whether you're a good person or who you are. There's a lot of questions and doubts and anxiety over this next week, Leo, and uncertainty, not knowing which steps to take forward. Now, the oracle card that comes along with this is Yod. And Yod comes up to almost tell you to relax, to not worry about it so much, because there's nothing that you can do right now. That's just the way that it is. Let the forces that be take care of it, whether that is another person who is in charge of the way that things are going, if that is an industry or an institution that is directing the flow of traffic, or if that is just trying to connect to your sense of faith of a higher power that everything is going the way that it needs to right now. This is definitely easier said than done, because with all of this self-doubt and anxiety and stress, you're being asked to just trust. And to trust in forces other than yourself. You are out of control, and that's okay. Not that you're out of control, you don't have control over the situation, and that's okay. This Yod card comes up to remind you that you are moving in the direction that is best for you. You are moving towards your greatest good. You just might need to, walk through this little bit of muck in order to get to the beauty. Virgo, your tarot card for the week of November 22nd to 28th, 2020, is the Two of Wands reversed. So there is some imbalance of your own energy over this next week. It feels like your essence is a little bit out of whack. You're not sure what you want. You're not sure about the direction that you're moving in. And there is a real sense of impatience with this. You've been waiting. You've been trying to make things happen. You've been trying to manifest, and maybe things just aren't coming at this point. So there's a sense of not giving up, but knowing when to walk away. You know, you pick your battles, and maybe you've been fighting this one, and maybe it's just a stalemate. It's not a loss. It's not a win. It's just nothing. So there is a feeling of just wanting to end things, end some situation, and walk away because it's not meeting your needs right now. The oracle card that comes along with this is the Sun. And so you are really being asked to focus on you, on your highest self, on your greatest good, on your needs. Virgo, you are being given permission to prioritize yourself, your inner self, your deepest self, your spirit, your soul, your heart. So connect to that inner part of yourself. Try not to worry so much about what the outer world is doing right now over this next week. Things aren't working out, and that's just what it is. So go into yourself and address what you need. If things aren't working out for any particular reason and you can't do anything about it and you need to move on, move on. If you need to wait it out and see where things are going, again, that is your need. So this is going into yourself and recognizing what is best for your own growth, what is best for you. Libra, your tarot card for the week of November 22nd to 28th, 2020, is the Magician reversed. So this reversal makes it a bit of a challenging week for you, Libra. It feels like you're a little out of your element. You're a little out of power, out of control. When you try to make something happen, it just fizzles. There's no sparks or explosions of magic right now. Things feel kind of dull. And you're a little bit, there's a feeling of being a little bit lethargic, but just not really wanting to do anything. I can't do it, so why should I try? So you've for this week at least, you've put aside your magic for a rest. And that's okay. Take as much time as you need, Libra, to recharge your energy. Right now, you don't have the juice, so you need this time to refill your cup before you can start to make things happen and start lighting off those fireworks again. And the oracle card that comes along with this is Pluto. So over this next week, you are being asked to pay attention to just what isn't working and in what ways. This reversed Magician says that maybe the magic is starting to die in certain areas of your life. So the Pluto card comes in to say, change it. Let it die so that it can be reborn into something new. Focus on what can be, on the potential, on what you actually want, rather than on what isn't working. If it's not working, there could be a good reason for that, and that reason may be that this isn't what you need right now, or it's not what you need anymore. So let it die and let it be reborn and evolve into something new and better. Scorpio, your tarot card for the week of November 22nd to 28th, 2020, is the Chariot reversed. And this reversal brings some frustration because it feels like you're just not getting what you want right now. There's this is normally such a successful, wonderful, exciting, positive card, and when it reverses, it's just you're driving in circles, you're chasing your tail, you're spinning your wheels, you're not seeing any real progress. There's not a lot of active direction in this, so it's just kind of, it's taking you a little bit forward maybe, but it's like a 2 steps forward, 1 step back kind of forward motion. And that's really frustrating. It's almost like there's this feeling of like, what's the point? Why bother? The oracle card that comes along with this is Saturn. So this means that there is some lesson or some understanding that you're not quite grabbing at right now. And the reason that the Chariot is reversed is because you need to process this lesson. So the Saturn card comes in to say, pay attention, address the truth, stop making excuses, and just deal with what needs to be dealt with before you take the steps to move forward. So Scorpio, in order to upright that reversed Chariot energy, you need to face some uncomfortable truths, either about yourself or about your situation, so that you can clear away the blockages that are keeping you from actively moving forward. At the end of my videos, I like to pull a card from my favorite manifestation, motivation, affirmation deck, the Super Attractor. So I have got one card here for everyone who joins me for this video, just to give us an idea of what to carry within ourselves, how to align our spiritual selves to our own highest good over this next week. So the card that I have drawn says, the universe powerfully responds the instant I realign with love. And I'll put the picture up there so that it's a little bit clearer. The universe powerfully responds the instant I realign with love. Affirmations can be a little bit personal. What this says to you might be a little bit different from what it says to me. So please let me know down in the comments what you think of this one. To me, my interpretation, the universe powerfully responds the instant I realign with love is literally just as soon as I allow myself to fully connect and fully integrate to my loving energy, loving myself, loving my environment, loving my planet, loving my people, the universe says, oh, this is what you want? Okay, here you go. Because energy flows where attention goes. That's what my mom likes to say. And what that means is where we put our focus is where universe directs all of the energy. So if we're focusing on what's working, universe gives us more of what's working. If we're focusing on what makes us miserable, universe goes, oh, you need more of this? Here you go. So in order for the universe to respond positively, align ourselves with love. But let me know in the comments down below what this one says to you. Thank you so much for joining me for this look at the week ahead. I hope that the readings in this video have been resonant and that they can provide just a sort of helpful, relevant compass to offer insight, guidance, clarity, whatever it is that you need to help get you through this coming week. Please let me know in the comments down below what you thought of the video, and like the video if it resonated with you, if it sang to your soul, if you responded with the cards that were pulled for your sign and with the Super Attractor at the very end. And if you haven't already, please make sure you are subscribed to my channel. I do upload a weekly forecast like this and a monthly forecast every month. And I'll make sure to put a link in the description down below to my Facebook page, Hedgewitch Hearthcraft. If you follow me over there, I post a daily free card to give us an idea of where to be focusing ourselves for our own highest good. And that's also the best way to get in touch with me if you ever want to book a reading of your own. Anyway, thank you so much for letting me read for you and for joining me for this video. I hope you have a fantastic week, and blessed be.